My name is Zwelethu Machepha, and I'm a visual artist based in Joburg. I mainly work with drawings, printmaking, paintings, and other disciplines. I work in my studio. This is August House, and welcome. Essentially, printmaking is very much reliant on drawings. So you have to draw first in order for you to be able to translate into prints. Um, I think I like the concept of printmaking because then I'm able to reproduce other works, and people are now accessible to different kinds of work. Whereas drawing is it's very special. It's very it's very self-entitled. You know, you wanna keep things to yourself. Not necessarily for myself, but then people get once-offs, and which is a bit more special than having to reproduce work. I feel like I've been working towards something that will come out in this result, for instance. So all my efforts, the sleepless nights, working overtime, and doing all these things, now they make sense why I've been doing all those things. So it's such a great privilege as well to have been selected because a lot of people, a lot of artists I know, all young and older, still aspire for the same opportunities. Um, yeah, it just really humbles one. You just feel really. Essentially, the concept of the show is quite vast because it's fed by other elements into it. Um, at the moment, my direction involves a lot of ideas about development, um, which is very much influenced by a project that I had towards this project, which was titled Slaves Without Masters. And that is essentially is a story about a group of recyclers that live in Joburg, and they was basically documenting where they live, what they eat, where they come from, and how they operate economically, legally and illegally as well. So that realization almost just brought me closer to this project, which was a Colonial Ghost, which has a lot to do with how how I perceived this group of recyclers and how people still view them even till now. So Colonial Ghost was essentially a reinvention of these figures that I know, because I also came into a huge surprise when I noticed that all these things I think about. When you see them just pass by you, there's a lot of judgment, a lot of off-putting gestures that one has. But then, because I exposed myself to that environment, it taught me a lot about how I perceive people, you know, and I wanted to change that perception because essentially my work is it's like an active citizenship work, themed. You know, I want to be active with my work. My work needs to speak things that I can think I can change. So because of that, it helped me feed my ideas about how I want to perceive, because my work is very much figurative and abstracted. So the figurative, I noticed people weren't unnecessarily understanding. They couldn't see. They could see, but it was still a judgmental perception. Until I had to switch it and make it these pixelated kind of figures, and it kind of forces people to engage and look more and see more as well. And then this is how the idea of Colonial Ghost starts. So going forward, it would be fed by like I said, how one perceives development and those kind of things. So it's like an introduction to the concept of development and how does one develop themselves and reconstruct themselves and become reinvent yourself specifically. So, but specifically this group of people, but it goes beyond these particular people. It's just also, it teaches me a lot about myself, how I perceive myself, and how I can change other things about myself, and so on.